Hi everybody, how are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. So today is the 13th of July and I'm still away from home for a few days, but I did want to mark the Capricorn full moon, which I believe is today. Maybe it will straddle into tomorrow on the 14th in some parts of the world, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to read on it today and see what we get. I've got one tarot deck with me and I've got one set of oracle cards, so we'll have a play. I've also got one spray, and it's quite interesting that the only spray that I have here, because we decamped to a different place and I left behind some of the other sprays in the first place we stayed at. The one spray I've still got is the Earth Elemental. And I don't think I've actually sat out and done a reading in nature for quite some time. I'm literally in the woods, and I mean, where I'm staying, my window, literally there's foliage about that close to the window. It's really extreme, to such an extent I think my girls are struggling a little bit with the rawness of it all. But anyway, it's all good. And before we get to the cards, I'd just like to say a few things about the energy. And yes, it's sort of come through because of where I am right now, but we know that the universe puts us exactly where we're meant to be for whatever reason, whether it's a geographical place, whether it's an emotional place, etc. So it strikes me as really quite interesting that we have Capricorn full moon. I'm in the forest. It's very quiet. I'm on a campsite where literally there's hardly anybody here. I mean, it's literally like a ghost town. Really quite eerie in some respects. Pitch black, obviously, when it gets dark, which is not the norm in the UK because of light pollution everywhere. So it's rather lovely to have the darkness, to have the forest. I'm in lodge number 11. You can't make this stuff up. And we have Capricorn full moon. So it feels as though where we're all at right now is very out of comfort zone. Many of us are feeling a long way from home, and that is symbolic. So the energy is asking us, what is home to you? Can you make yourself at home wherever you are? Can you feel at home within your own body? Capricorn, of course, as an energy, often links to some of the more addictive traits that we can find ourselves, I was going to say victim to, but I don't think it's really about victimhood because it's all choices. But you know, the addictions that can befall the body, whether that's food, drugs, alcohol, smoking. You know, a Capricorn has many positive aspects to it, but in the tarot deck, of course, it's the Devil card, and the Devil card is what keeps us chained, what keeps us addicted, what keeps us tied into lower energies. And we're really being asked to let go of whatever that is at this time. It's as though it's particularly highlighted, and you may be being asked to do that when you're feeling all at sea, basically. All at sea, uprooted. If we look at the weather, even, you know, extreme patterns happening in many places around the world. We've got a heat wave here in the UK at the moment. Many parts of Europe, mentioned that on my social media channels yesterday. And many people struggling with it. Many people also struggling with extreme temperatures the other way. We're all a little bit out of comfort zone, but we're all having to try and find peace and to stay in alignment to get ready for the next phase, but definitely about letting go of addictions as well. So we're going to pull some tarot cards. I'm hearing 5 cards from this deck, and then we'll pull some oracle cards. So the tarot deck that I've got with me is Spiritsong Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. Okay. So let's just get into this and think about the energy of this Capricorn full moon. The other thing that I'm feeling is linked into feeling out of comfort zone, facing our biggest fears, And again, the symbolism of this place. I think actually my daughter's going back home today, so I'll just be here on my own tonight, which is absolutely fine and absolutely perfect in many respects, because it brings up the fear of being alone. And you know, Metatron, he does things in a very extreme way. So I find myself, as I say, in the forest, in the darkness. I'm trying to not think of, what's that beautiful song by Creedence? Was it Creedence Clearwater Revival? Bad Moon Rising, you know, the werewolf one. You've got to laugh at the extremities of these times, okay? So yeah, but in all seriousness, facing our biggest fears. What is your biggest fear? Is it maybe being alone? Is it about being abandoned? Is it about losing somebody dear to you? Is it about having no money? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's coming up this full moon, okay? And it's coming up, so we face it, and we look at it, we reflect on it, we think about it, and then of course we move into our strength and into the solar plexus energy, where our power center is, and we remember that we have the resources within ourselves to deal with anything that life throws at us. So whatever our biggest fear is, we have the strength within ourselves to be able to cope and to move through it, with the support also, of course, of the Ascended Masters and the angels. We're never alone. We're never truly alone. In fact, sometimes it's only when you are alone that you actually realise how much support there is. And what I mean by that is universal support. So sitting here right now, for example, it feels as though there's nothing around me, but yet I can hear the birds flapping up there. There are rabbits that, you know, bounce around, which are really gorgeous to see. Wildlife is just everywhere, you know. So we're a child of the universe at the end of the day, and we're always surrounded by life in all of its forms. We just have to fully acknowledge and embrace that, and give thanks to it as well. Okay. On the bottom of the card, bottom of the deck rather, as I'm talking to you, we have this one, which seems quite appropriate because it's the goat. And the goat links into the Capricorn energy as well. Again, a nod to the Devil card in the tarot, often has the goat on it. Although it's quite interesting, you know, the dualistic universe. The goat sometimes is a symbol linked into the devil energy, but I'm also hearing, probably because I've been obsessed with Wimbledon for the last 2 weeks, but it's the whole thing about the greatest of all time. Who's going to be the greatest of all time? But equally, are you going to be the greatest of all time? And what I mean by that is that in this particular incarnation, because you've had many different incarnations, is this going to be your greatest moment? Is this going to be your greatest triumph in this life? Whatever's happened to you in previous lives, are you going to be the greatest of all time right now or tomorrow, but in this life? So I love that. I'm seeing the goat as the greatest of all time, but it's about you. Okay, it's about you being that. You aspiring to be that. You believing that you can be that. Okay, 5 cards then from this deck. Let's see what we get for the people watching Capricorn full moon. Yeah, very appropriate. The Tower. The Tower energy comes up. We've also got the card of Temperance on the bottom of the deck, so I'm going to take that before I take any other cards. So the Tower, and what is the animal on that? Is that the chameleon? Let me just have a little look in the book. But anyway, we know what the Tower represents. It represents release, and it represents revelation. It represents letting go of what no longer serves. And how appropriate that we would get that today. It's the chameleon. So I'm going to read you what it says in the book about this card, if you'll forgive me. So I'm still getting back into the work mode. It says, chameleon is the shaman of adaptation, seizing the power of cloaking. He changes colour to blend with his shifting surroundings. please just have a shout out for the fact that I'm wearing this dress, and actually I am completely blended into this background. Thank you, Terry, for the dress. You bought me this last year, and I didn't get to Hawaii to wear it with you or be with you, but I am wearing it in another setting and it feels fabulous. It's a maxi dress, it goes down to my ankles. Anyway, enough of the dress. It's just that I am being the chameleon. Look, you know, take off the hat. I am part of the forest. You are part of the forest. You are actually part of, you're being asked to merge and blend into whatever's going on around you at the moment. And what that means is basically integrate it, okay? Don't try and run from it. Don't try and run from it. Try to be fully present in terms of what does this environment, what is it trying to teach me? What is it trying to show me? What is it trying to illustrate? Okay, so have a think about that. So the chameleon, life is change, and you have the choice to either accept change or to resist it. By clinging to ideas that no longer work within the structure of your spiritual evolution, the winds of revelation will force you to go with the flow. Chameleon is here to help you shift the colours of your state of being, setting you on the path to your highest truths. Relax, place trust in yourself, and release fear. By attuning yourself to the magic of chameleon, you become more receptive to the powers within you. Yes, okay. So we've got two major arcana cards, as I say, the Tower, and then we've got the energy of Temperance, which again, it's the zebra. Black and white stripes. I mean, does the zebra blend into his environment? I don't know. I've never actually seen one. Well, have I seen one in a zoo? I've certainly not seen one in the wild. I feel as though I need to go back to the book for this one as well. Did I say it's card number 12? I think it's my eyesight. It's actually card number 14, Temperance. So it says, zebra pilots the harmony of opposites. Self-disciplined, she will show you how to find balance. As with her stripes, the yin-yang duality of opposites brings forth the ability to maintain balance. She wants you to recognise challenge as a chance for growth. So again, it goes back to my point about feeling out of comfort zone, feeling not at home in some way in your life, but realising that this is the opportunity for you to grow from whatever you're going through at this moment in time. Okay, so those are our two cards. Let's pull another three that go with those two. So finding balance whilst the tower falls, whilst you're feeling uncomfortable, whilst you don't necessarily know the path ahead, whilst you're facing your biggest fears, finding the balance, finding the harmony. Let's see what else we get. Three more cards, please. The King of Feathers, Logic and Justice. So that would be the King of Pentacles. And it's a nod to, crikey, card of transformation. I'm going to take that one on the bottom of the deck because the dragonfly, I keep seeing dragonflies everywhere as well. Let's just have a look at this. So I think this is a nod to the Lionsgate energies that are coming in. Lionsgate peaks, and I always try and do something around 8th of August. I will be back home long before then, and I will be talking much more about Lionsgate. I do something every year for that. But because look, it's the lion, he's got the Leo crown. It just feels as though that's a Lionsgate energy card. But again, we've got the card of transformation, and then we've got Six of Feathers, which is to do with transition as well. So these are big energies, and it feels as though this Capricorn full moon is bringing in the big changes that are going to be peaking around Lionsgate, but it may happen before or it may happen shortly afterwards. We're in for a very rapid period of change, radical change I'm hearing, and transition to the new. I mean, look, in this deck, there's two cards here. I don't know if you can actually see it, but they both say transition, a double transition. It's as though there's a transition in terms of your world and your place in it. There's a transition maybe with regards to personal relationships, maybe finances, maybe jobs, maybe how you view yourself. I can't believe the number of comments that I got when I just literally talked about menopause for less than 5 minutes, I think it was. It's sort of, the comments dominated that video, which was actually really about CERN and Japan and other things. But, you know, yes, it's because it's a big transition that women go through. Not the only transition, of course, there are other ones. Becoming a mother, losing a parent would be another one. That's not, of course, just applicable to women. I'm just talking about big life transitions, but also bodily transitions that we go through. The ones that we go through, whether we're male or female at puberty, the ones we go through again in midlife or later, i.e. menopause being one, and having to transition and find a new way of being and accept that you look different and that you are different and that it is forever changed. But equally, you know, just think about the word transition. We've got it twice. We've got it twice. And we've got the dragonfly, which is saying it'll all be okay. But you can't fight these changes that are coming. They just feel as though they are too big. So we're all moving into new phases of life. And if we take the lead of the lion here, he doesn't look too phased by anything. You know, he's the king of the jungle. Let's hope one doesn't jump out of the bushes at me now. You know, he's the king of the jungle, and he knows what he knows. He's sovereign, you know. I was trying to articulate just in a picture post the other day on Instagram, I think it was, this thing about stopping the fighting with each other. When you know what you know and you're at peace with who you are and you're at peace with what you believe, you don't have to keep fighting your corner all the time. You know, be like the lion who just sort of is there, and, you know, he knows he's the king of the jungle. He knows that he's wise. He knows that he's strong. He knows also that he's got a lion's heart, a loving heart, all of that. He doesn't have to keep showing it and from an egotistical perspective. You know, look how big I am. Everybody can see that he is who he is. Be comfortable with who you are. Okay, so those are 5 very powerful cards from that deck. I will just say I was tempted just to have a look on the bottom of the deck. We've got the 2 of shells, union and harmony, the 2 turtle doves. Have we got Prince coming in? Maybe we have, I don't know. Sometime soon. I'm looking forward to getting back to Heart Squad channelings, and I know Prince is a very requested one. But yeah, 2 turtle doves, union is also a nod to love. It's also a nod to twin flame. But it's also a nod, remember, to the fact of the 2 flames that you have within yourself, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Again, just being given a bit of a push, a bit of a nudge to come together and be at one and be at peace. Okay. Right, let me just, before I do the oracle cards, I've got a great new deck that's been sent to me. I'll show you them in a moment. And yes, we've got the phoenix on the back of the cards, which is perfect. Let me just use the earth elemental, because with all of this transition and change, it can make us feel a little bit lightheaded, a little bit wobbly. I mean, the earth is changing, Gaia is changing, we are changing. We really need to find our feet as well. And the earth elemental spray is a really good one to just remind you to ground, okay? To remind you to ground, to put your feet down onto Mother Earth, to put your roots deep down, and to also give thanks for the opportunity to change, to transition into the next phase of life. So let's just spray the earth elemental. I think I need to take my hat off. So you're going to see hat hair now. Anyway, there we go. Take my glasses off as well. So I want to spray the spray and feel it come over my crown. Okay. So earth elemental, and yes, I am spraying it over my crown. I'll also give a couple of squirts to my feet below. I'm spraying it over my crown because it's as though the new guidance and the inspiration and the ideas and the new downloads that are coming in, they need to be grounded. They need to be fully grounded. So just bring that earth energy through. And it feels very stabilizing, Very perfect for these times of transition. Okay, now let's pull some cards. So this deck was sent to me by a lady called Emily Kisvarda. It's a deck called Sacred Geometry Healing Cards. I believe she's in Australia. So I'm going to have to put my hat back on because my hair is just all over the place. And it's a great deck. Okay, so I believe it's the same publisher as me, Red Feather, who are part of the Schiffer group. And it's a nicely done deck. Comes in a nice box like my decks do. I've taken the cards out. And the other thing is you get a good book. My decks always have a good book, you know, with them. Not just a little pamphlet, good book. Emily's done a good book. And she probably won't mind me saying, because she's written it on the back of the book, her work and this deck seems to have come about. Let me just read what it says, because it says it on the back. It says, through the devastation and grief of death and loss, while raising 4 children, primarily as a single parent, Emily found solace through Phoenix Gateway, a company she started to encompass all levels of physical and emotional well-being. So it seems to be that this deck has come about through adversity, through difficulty, through what her learned, and through what she learned. And I always really admire people who take a negative experience and something difficult and turn it into something productive, not just for themselves but for other people. It's true Metatronic energy running through you when you're able to do that, and I take my hat off to anybody that can do that. I try to do it myself, and I try to live by that. So let's pull a couple of cards. Let's go back to this Capricorn full moon, and I'm feeling 3 cards want to come out of this deck. So for the people watching, what messages are there, please, from this deck? For the people watching, Capricorn full moon, what messages are there for Capricorn full moon? Flower of life. Wanted to put it back into the deck, and that makes perfect sense, because as well as it being the flower of life, which is creation, it says cocoon stage. And I would imagine you're a caterpillar trying to, you know, break out and become the butterfly, or you know, the chicken and the egg. It gets very claustrophobic in the cocoon, the nearer to birth you get. Okay, it's a bit like being in the womb. You know, those of us that have carried children in the womb, it gets really uncomfortable those last few weeks, and particularly if they then get overdue, it can be quite a torturous procedure, because it just feels uncomfortable for the mother. It probably feels uncomfortable for the baby, because there's less room. That's why they can't move around as much. They actually get locked into the birth position. Their head gets locked into the birth canal eventually, which will push them out into the world. And that's sort of where we are at the moment. We're in the cocoon phase of knowing that something is about to happen, knowing that big change is on the horizon for us. And we might know what that is. There might be a new job or a new start or something we're going to be doing come the autumn time, but it's not yet quite here. And we're just in this cocoon stage. It's like I've got all of these new ideas. I know this new life is on the horizon, but I'm still feeling quite constricted. So be at peace and relax, and know that you're meant to still be in that cocoon phase. The tower falls when the tower is meant to fall, i.e. the waters break when the waters are meant to break, and you can't force it. And believe you me, I did try and force it, going back to the whole birth analogy, going on bumpy roads, trying to get the baby out 2 weeks overdue, having the curries, all of it. I did all of it to try and provoke the birth, but no, nothing happened until I actually went with the flow and relaxed. Well, actually, no, I will give you, just the birth analogy is such a good one, but I will just give you one other tip. Any pregnant mums out there who are overdue, the one thing I did do was 2 weeks overdue with one of my girls, and I was about to be induced the following day, which I didn't particularly want. I went to bed that night and I chanted Nam Myo Rengi Kayo over and over again, and happened naturally. It was beautiful. Anyway, white butterfly, as I'm saying that, I feel as though I'm talking to somebody who's about to give birth, or you know somebody who's about to give birth, and if you do, it's going to be beautiful. That butterfly is really flying free, really flying free. Okay, My body is safe and loved. This is definitely a message I'm picking up now for somebody. There's a lady who is about to give birth who needs to know that she's safe, she's loved, that her body can do it. Or maybe you're a mum or a grandma or granddad, whatever. There's a baby coming through, linked into this Capricorn full moon, and it's going to be a child full of light and full of love. It's going to be a rainbow child. Look at that, rainbow child coming through on Capricorn full moon. Beautiful. Also, I'm being told, again, it's like this dualistic energy linked into Capricorn, that one of the things that sometimes comes up with Capricorn is the energy of lust, okay? And lust can be a very destructive energy if it's out of control. But of course, you know, put it this way, what I'm sensing is some passionate encounters that produce a conception over this full moon period, okay? And that these conceptions are going to be bringing through children of light, rainbow children. I mean, look, come on, the message is just very, very clear from these two cards. It's linked to that. But equally, for those of us that's not about to happen, we have my body is safe and loved. Let's just see what Emily says about this 174 number, which we have in the middle of this card. It's card number 23. Let's have a look at what she says. So it's I'm going to screw up this word, so please don't go on and on about it. It just triggers me because I'm giving these videos for free, okay? I'm sitting here on my free time. Don't all come on and say, you're saying it wrong, because it triggers me. I'm being honest. Solfeggio frequency, 174 hertz, okay? It says, if 174 hertz has been drawn, you are experiencing pain somewhere within your body. Well, that would certainly be true if you're about to give birth. But anyway, let's get off the birth things now. So pain within your body, okay, for the rest of us. It could be muscular, it could be skeletal, it might be a headache. You may have an illness or sign of disease that is affecting an organ or a bodily system. So it talks about the sound vibration as the helicopter or something goes over the head, which is not necessarily the vibration you need to bring in to your body to bring in health. You're being asked to think about the vibration of the solfeggio frequency, 174 hertz. It says it does not have a particular sound or colour, as do those frequencies ranging between 396 and 963 hertz. But it does have particular vibrational frequency with immense healing powers. So those of you with your tuning forks, if you've got one linked into this particular frequency, then get it out, basically. Get it out and start using it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. That's the spelling of it. Okay, those of you that want to know how do you spell it like that. Okay, so that's our second card. We have got the hexahedron on the bottom of the deck, which is the cube, which is linked into the base chakra. I feel as I sort of want to take that card actually, because it feels very appropriate. The hexahedron, the cube, is linked into the energy of earth. It's the earth elemental. Base chakra, body, structure, foundation, safety. The things that I've been talking about, basically. There are aspects that are coming in to rock our old world, because they're meant to be rocking our old world, to bring in the new. So it feels as though it's a very, very powerful full moon. I mean, that is even more bizarre, guys. I just went to pick up, I can't believe this. To be honest, I've not used this deck before. It's a great deck. But I just picked up the one on the top of the deck, thinking maybe there's just one more card. It's another hexahedron. It's another hexahedron. It's a double whammy. Where have we got the double whammy also? We've got double transition. Foundations being well and truly rocked. Base chakras being well and truly rocked. Our world being well and truly rocked. So what do you do with that? You remember that you are in the cocoon, that you are safe. You're that. You're the king of the, you're this energy. This is what you need to tune into. So how do you tune into this lion energy? You go into your solar plexus, okay? You go into your solar plexus. Let's just do it together. Let's just breathe into the solar plexus energy. That I am safe, that I am strong, that I am wise, that I am sovereign, that all is well, that the light shines upon me and all is well. There's a big upgrade going on for the base chakra. Big upgrade going on for the base chakra. And upgrades come in, but you have to clear out the old. All the old programs, all the old patterns, all the old thoughts. So yes, the fears are going to come up. So it's completely perfect that I'm in this place where I am right now. And it's completely perfect that you are where you are, even if it's difficult, even if it's challenging. The other thing that I'm being reminded to say about the hexahedron, and this is front of mind because we're going to be producing some kits soon, 5 sprays in a box, and they're going to be themed. And last night I was deciding on which of the 5 sprays did I think would be the best for what we're going to call a health and wellness kit. Now, obviously, you also have to do things yourself for your own health and wellness, that like diet, exercise, all the rest of it. Sprays can only help you and support you, but they are very powerful aids. But one of the sprays that I think, and you know which one probably I'm going to say, Metapyrate, which is our antiviral spray. It's the top seller for a couple of years running for very obvious reasons because of what's been going on in our world. Lots of you use it. I use it myself. It helps. It's our equivalent of what's called thieves oil or pirate's oil in different parts of the world, but we've done our own unique twist and we've put different ingredients into it. But if you remember, or you can just go and look at it, go to my website angeliccelestialcolours.co.uk, look at Metapyrate. I haven't got time to post it for you today. There's a channeled message that I brought through, which is to do with, it's either that you're standing on top of the hexahedron or you're within it. And it's linked into using the Metapyrate spray and feeling safe. So I also think at a time in our world where, you know, there's a lot of, let's just put viral infections out there. I don't want to get into the whole debate on this again. You're being reminded of that technique that I brought through from Metatron. As I say, it's all there. You've just got to click onto my website, read the description for the Metapyrate spray, even if you don't buy it, and there's guidance there in terms of using the cube for that. Because the other thing I will say is that as the virus mutates and recreates, because that's what viruses do, then we have to we upgrade so that we're able to cope with it and have an answer to it. And the answer also is remembering that my body is safe and loved, and that when you're in the vibration of love and safety, even if you become unwell for whatever reason, you know, whatever condition, it helps you transition through that condition or illness easier or better or faster, etc. Okay, remember, if illness and disease come, and I'm talking here in terms of many different things, they can also come in as teachers. They come in to show us something, to gift us something, believe it or not, as well. Okay, so big energies this full moon, and I think I'm going to leave it there because I need to get this uploaded now and also prepare for Bella's arrival. She's coming for the day to see me, and I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you're all doing well. I'm back home in a few days, and then I'll be doing some videos next week in my normal format, in my normal room. But sending you lots of love. Breathe, align, all is well. Take care of yourselves. Lots of love. Bye-bye for now. Bye.